right, hello everybody. Welcome to episode 11 of the Barnburner Podcast. I am your host, Owen, joined by my co-host, Michael. And let's get this thing on the road. It is February 27th. It's almost the end of the month. Well, no, it is the end of the month, but it's almost March already, which is crazy. And it's bright and early. It's not bright and early. It's 11:30. I wanted to get this thing out of the way before the Oilers game. So,
This is the earliest we've recorded.
Yeah.
I just had a midterm exam on a Sunday, which is great.
But you know what? That actually worked out nicely because typically you'd only wake up at around this time, and we wouldn't have time to record this before the game starts, so it forced you to wake up early. I woke up. I actually wanted to wake up earlier than I did. I was pissed. Yeah. All right, so we're going to say this at the start, and we don't know how it's going to end up, but this should be a somewhat shorter episode because we don't really have that much to talk about in depth. There are a few things we want to talk about, though, and then we'll just kind of let the time carry and see where we get. We should probably get to like 40 minutes, 45 minutes at least, but we're not aiming for like an hour and 10 minutes or anything this time.
Yeah, we usually ramble on longer than
but I don't know.
expect.
I don't know how much rambling we can do about these topics. So the first thing on the list, what the fuck happened last night in Detroit, man? Holy cow!
I wasn't watching because I was at my girlfriend's birthday party. So, I turned on I just wanted to see the score on my phone, and it was 4-1. I was like, damn. So I went on my Bell 5 app.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to see what was happening. And Marner scored immediately to make it 5-1. And I was like, okay. Turned it off. All of a sudden, it's 7-2. Then it goes 7-6, which is
ridiculous.
Detroit got like 3 goals in like the first 5 minutes of the third. And then I turned on my phone again just to see that Mikheyev scores immediately. So I guess whenever I turn on my phone, they score.
There's a goal.
Right away. And then, so I turned it off, then I turned it on again, and Raymond scored 8-7. So I'm like, bro, like I gotta keep this off.
Keep the phone
or
off.
Whatever. Yeah. And then obviously it went 10-7, but like, what is this, football?
Yeah, like, man, I was just on Xbox with the guys, and so, the Leafs are killing Detroit, and like Joe, every once in a while, he'll bring up who scored for the Leafs, and I was like, wow, this is a fucking blowout. And then all of a sudden, I checked the score because I wanted to check the other scores. And I look at my phone, and the Leafs game is 7-6. I'm like, what the fuck happened here? I was like, is the score glitched out? There's no way it's 7-6 now. And I'm looking, and I realize how fast they score. And then Joe says Mikheyev scored. And I was like, okay, so now it's over. There's no way Detroit's coming back. And then
8-7.
Raymond scored right away. And I was like, holy shit, like, they might actually pull this off. And then
There's
it
still
kind
like
of
12
fell away
minutes
from them.
left.
Yeah, like, man, like, it was ridiculous. And even my dad was like, my dad was texting his buddies, and he was like, I forget, I think it was like 7, yeah, it was 7-2. And he's like, and so then he checks his group chat like 5 minutes later. In the span of time it took my mom to clean, because we had some people over yesterday, and so they had to clean the kitchen. And by the time she was done cleaning the kitchen, my dad looked at his text, and his buddy said, "Wow, there are no goalies in this Leafs game. It's 8-7." My dad's like, "What do you mean it's 8-7? It was 7-2 5 minutes ago." He looks back at the score, it's 8-7. He's like, "Wow." But, the highest scoring game of the century. What are you saying about Nedeljkovic?
Nedeljkovic started the game, then Grice came in, and then Nedeljkovic came back in.
Oh, wow. Interesting strategy.
And then
Campbell, was he in the whole time?
No, he got pulled after, I think, 7-5.
Yeah, like, holy shit.
He has been shit. He has been shit recently.
Yeah, he was imagine listening to our
he's
first...
He's definitely not our Vezina.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine listening to our
first
first fucking video and us saying Campbell, and then looking at that now, it's like, wow, how things have changed. But, Shesterkin is definitely the best winner. For our fantasy
team, I have Shesterkin.
Yeah.
And, he was a late goalie pick. I was just picking him because, I didn't really have a goalie. I was like, hey, let's just pick Shesterkin. Whatever.
Yeah,
he's good. And he's, the best goalie in the league right now.
Not even the best goalie in the league. Like, he's honestly... I would go as far as saying this is the best goalie season ever. If the stats hold up for the rest of the year, like right now it is because of the numbers, but if the numbers can hold up, I think the last time a goalie had numbers like this, I think it was... I don't know. I don't want to say names and sound like an idiot, but it was a long time ago. I'm pretty sure. Was it
like Brodeur?
No, not even long. Way longer than that. I forget who it was. I think it might have been a Habs goalie. I think.
Probably.
Maybe.
Jacques Plante.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it might have been Plante actually. I think it was either him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Jacques Plante, I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, okay.
So he was 41 age. He's 41.
Holy fuck.
And he had a 189 goals against average with a 944 save.
What year was this?
71.
Wow, so they were still scoring goals like crazy in that time.
The second best goalie right now is Shesterkin.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like if he can hold up the numbers, because I mean
26.
See, the thing is, I think you got it. Yeah, you probably have to hand that one to Plante regardless because he's way older and he played in an era where his score is so much easier to score. But like
his record Plante was 24, 11, and 4, so it wasn't even that good.
Yeah. Wow.
And I mean, I guess he only played 40 games. Shesterkin's played 34, and he's 25, 6, and 3, so he already has more wins than Plante.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a lot of things you can look at when you compare the seasons and like.
This probably will be the best because.
But now here's the question.
But
is Shesterkin good enough to lead the Rangers to like a Stanley Cup final or a conference final this year? Because that's the thing, right? Like obviously he's playing amazing, and if you but I don't like the Rangers' defense at all. I think it's not good. Yeah. Besides like Fox and like Miller, but offensively, obviously they're pretty good. I'd say they're above average, and then. But their defense is below average, and then their goaltender is obviously the best.
It's kind of like the Leafs, except their goalies have been struggling. And
if Campbell can wake up a little, like you got to give Campbell. I think they should start playing Mrazek as much as they can, so that Campbell can rest a bit. I think they should.
Yeah, I think.
You just got to hope that Campbell doesn't start that Mrazek doesn't blow as well, and then you guys are just losing games for nothing. But the Leafs tend to score a lot of outscore their opponents.
Look at this last game, 10-7.
Yeah, exactly.
10 goals. Like, they allowed 7 goals and 1.
Yeah, which is crazy.
But the 12th best... Well, this is just random, but the guy's name is Gump Worsley.
Wow.
Gump.
What a name.
Who the hell is that?
What a name.
What team did he play on? I've never heard of it. Oh, Montreal. Wow, of course.
Okay, so the next thing was the Stadium Series was also last night, which I'm not going to lie, I completely forgot this was happening, like, at all. But it was Tampa versus Nashville. Tampa took the dub, 3-2. I don't think anybody's surprised by that.
I think as, I get older and stuff, like, these NHL, events and stuff,
I don't care as about them. Yeah.
As long
the
as
New Year's
Eve,
the New Year's Day
Buffalo.
game is always pretty fun. The one that they play on New Year's Day. But, all these other ones, man, I don't really care about.
The Winter Classic.
Yeah. It's like the teams that don't deserve an outdoor game are the ones that get an outdoor game. It's like, why the hell is Nashville playing an outdoor, or even Tampa?
Yeah.
They're in Nashville's not warm in the winter, but, Tampa's fucking warm all the year round, and they're getting an outdoor game. Where'd they play it? Was it in Nashville? Yeah, it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There was a lot of fights. They don't really play each other that much, but I mean, last year they did because of the Central. They were in the Central together. But I think these guys. This is a rivalry, to be honest. Like Ryan Johansson was a target all game because he hit Chernak in the head.
Oh fuck!
He left one of his feet and went up to his head, and he only got 2 minutes.
Jesus Christ. Speaking of, actually, you know what? Now that you bring that up, man, Sam Bennett, not a fan of the empty net goal. Holy fuck. So I don't know if anybody listening saw, but Cole Sillinger, who's a rookie on Columbus, I think they were winning 7-3 or something, and he was trying to go in for the empty netter, And, like, as he's turning to shoot the puck, Sam Bennett just fucking hammers him into the boards. And no one fought him. Like, I think Gauntz tried to fight him, like, asked him to, but he turned it down. Like, Sam, you gotta fucking fight after you hit a guy like that. You can't just get away, especially a rookie. You can't just get away with hammering a guy like that and not fight. But, yeah, like, so uncalled for.
You got a penalty, right?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
I think you got a charging penalty.
Probably. I would hope so. That looked like a charge to me. All right, the next thing, we're only at the 10-minute mark here, which is very interesting. So the Pacific Division is what I wrote down. The Pacific Division is a fucking gong show right now. This is obviously the closest division in the NHL right now, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
We've already talked about it.
Yeah, exactly. But like just to go put into so the Flames are in my opinion, the Flames are the only team in this division that are like safe right now of like any bad like any drops or anything, because like they have a 3-point lead on the Kings right now, who are in second. The Kings have a 3-point lead on Vegas.
How the hell are the Kings?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. And then like Edmonton's 1 point behind Vegas right now, which means we have we have a massive game today. Like these teams in the Pacific and then not even that, but Anaheim is 2 points behind Edmonton too. Like, it's so close.
And Vancouver's 3 behind.
Yeah, like, and then after that, it's not even a big dip after that, because it's a 4-point difference for San Jose, and then that's where it dips, because Seattle's got 37 points. Fuck.
Yeah, I think we can eliminate the Sharks.
Yeah, me too. I don't think the Sharks have a chance. Like, I mean, obviously they're close, but I don't think the Sharks are good enough to make like a serious push. I think the only reason why the Sharks are even this close in contention is because they had a good start to the year. They got a lot of their points early on, and they haven't even been that good since. And then, obviously, Vancouver's not out, but I don't think Vancouver's going to be able to catch these teams, because they've also kind of slowed down, but I'm not counting them out yet.
Yeah, I think Vancouver's like the last team, but so there's the 4 teams making it from the Central are Colorado Blues, Wild, and Nashville. Yeah,
I'd say those are all pretty easy to
and then Dallas, go with. And then the wild card is pretty crazy. Like, Dallas is 59, and Edmonton has second wild card, right?
Yeah, I think so right now. Yeah,
they're at 61, so they're only 2 points ahead of Dallas.
Yeah,
and
like, it's
I don't know if Winnipeg's gonna do anything either.
No, I don't think Winnipeg's got a chance, to be honest with you. They have not been playing that good recently.
I think in the Central, Dallas, it goes up to Dallas that has a chance, and then up to Vancouver has a chance in the Pacific.
Yeah, because my thing is like, where my concern lies is like literally every single game in this last, the last like 2 months of the season, you have to win. You literally cannot afford to lose games. Like, every loss is going to cost you pretty poorly in this race. But I mean, man, like, LA was a team that I thought would have, fallen off their high horse, and like it would have ended up being Calgary, Vegas, and Edmonton, like we had said earlier on. But now LA is kind of in a position of power because they have a 3-point lead over Vegas and a 4-point lead over us. It's like, fuck, like, are you serious? We have to fight with Vegas for this last playoff spot in terms of obviously divisional clinching. I know the wild card is still there, but
it's kind of crazy that Edmonton's 1 point behind Vegas. Like, Vegas was so good, and like Edmonton, like,
that's what I mean. Like, how is Edmonton only 7 points out of the top spot in this division after we lost literally every fucking game in December to the start of February? Like, we won 2 or 3 games in that whole span of time, and we're still that close. But yeah, it's interesting to see what's going to happen. Obviously, we'll continue to monitor this as we go. We're only at like the highest amount of games played in the Pacific is 54 games. So, we still have a ways to go before the season ends, but it's very interesting to see how this story continues. And like, I'm a little worried that Edmonton doesn't make the playoffs here. Like, that is worst case scenario. If you don't make the playoffs,
I think they will.
You got to blow it up. Me too, obviously, but like, if it's as a wild card, we're fucked, man. Because if it's as a wild card, we're gonna have to play like Colorado or even Calgary. I think we can beat Calgary.
Yeah, Colorado
is scary though.
If you guys, because Nashville probably finish ahead of you guys, and then you'll be second wild card.
Gosh, we're gonna play Colorado. That's a fucking easy series win for McKinnon.
McDavid versus McKinnon.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be exciting to watch for the 4 games that it goes for before we get swept.
But the Leafs actually have a chance of winning their division still. Like, they're only 3 points behind Florida, and they have a game in hand.
Yeah, what you need to hope, though, is that because it really and truly is right now, the goalies are the most important thing. Like, if Campbell and Mrazek keep not being great, it's gonna really hurt your chances of making that push for the first place spot.
Because if we finish first in the division, we'll play.
Right now, you're playing Washington or Boston. Right now, if you were to finish first, which, funny enough, you've lost to both those teams in the last few years.
Yeah, no, wouldn't. Because Carolina would be first.
Oh yeah, true. No, I was. Yeah, that's sorry.
We'd be playing Boston. Yeah. Oh
again.
God.
But like I already said, man, I think if the Leafs do play Boston this time around, I'm giving that series win to the Leafs. But if you play Tampa or Florida, it's gonna be a tough bargain to fucking pick the Leafs for me, because man, like I've picked the Leafs in my bracket challenge the last 2 years. No, 3. No, I didn't. I picked Columbus in 5, but that was as kind of a joke. I really and truly did not actually expect the Leafs to fucking lose. And funny
what
enough,
about
that was
Montreal?
No. That one I did have the Leafs winning. But what I was going to say is the last 3 years I've had the Leafs winning the first round because I did think they were going to beat Boston the last time. And then Columbus I did think they were going to beat, but I didn't actually pick them on my bracket. I picked Columbus in 5 as a joke, and then they fucking won in 5, and I was like, wow, okay. And then I had them obviously beating Montreal like 90% of the hockey community did, and then they fucking lost all 3. Like, I don't know, man. It's so my bracket gets fucked by that matchup every time. Maybe I just pick the team playing the Leafs, and then I'll get it wrong. Maybe I'm the jinx. Whoever I pick wins. Or sorry, I guess that wouldn't make sense.
Who you think would win because Columbus. You didn't think Columbus was going to win.
No, I didn't think
so whoever you think will win that series will lose, Moen. So
exactly.
you gotta think it's the other team.
Exactly.
Please.
So
at least for me, see you win. But the Habs, on the other hand, speaking of the Habs, they've won 5 straight.
Yeah, and Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki are lighting it up right now.
Is it a playoff push?
No.
Hell no.
Not even close.
They gotta win literally every game.
Yeah, like they cannot lose a game.
And they still won't. And they still won't make.
They've only got 33 points.
They have 33 losses too, so it's like there's no way there's no way a playoff team should have 33.
There's absolutely no way they make the play. But Habs fans can maybe be hopeful that they'll have a better season next year, like as long as they play like the way they're playing right now. Like if all these young guys that they have actually perform.
0-8.
Yeah, it must have been. They're just terrible, man.
I'm going to their first. All right, preseason. Okay. So they went 0-2, 0-3, 0-4, 0-5. They went 0-5. Then they went 1-6, 2-6, 2-7, 2-8. Okay, it's just a gong show.
Yep.
But yeah. What was it? Oh, I was gonna say something else. But yeah, like in the East, the locks, I feel like Columbus is 10 points
not as
out.
bad as I thought they were gonna be.
Yeah, they're actually they're not as bad. Yeah, but they're 10 points out.
But yeah, they're not making it regardless.
Detroit's 13 points out.
Yeah, I don't think any team outside of a wild card position in the East is making the playoffs. Like I think they're all done.
I think they're all done. Yeah.
I think if you're any of those teams, you just tank now and try to improve your draft ranking, because like why try and make a playoff push when chances are you're not going to make it. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But anyways, thought we'd just break that down. We have Oilers with a big game in like an hour and 15 here, so hopefully we can get the win and make our lives a little bit easier. Moving on though. Sean fucking Avery. What a guy. Sean Avery has attempted to make a comeback to professional hockey. He got signed by, what's the team called?
The Orlando Solar Bears.
Solar Bears, yeah. So
and that is a horrendous name. By the way.
So Sean Avery gets signed to a contract by them for like the ECHL.
I don't even know how long. I don't even know like how long.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know the details.
Do they get
of it.
paid?
Maybe a very small sum. But anyways, he gets signed to this contract, and 2 days or a day after he got signed, the team released him already. And I'm not sure if it's because we don't know the reason. We don't know if it's because like they didn't like him or he had already caused issues. But yeah, that could also very well be it as well. But part of me thinks that he might have asked them to release him after like George LaRocque and fucking Matthew Barnaby said they wanted to sign deals as well so they could kick his ass. Because like, man, he always acted like a tough guy, but Sean Avery was never as tough as he made himself seem. But I love Sean. I don't like him as a hockey player, but fuck, is he ever hilarious. His videos on man, that guy's like a cop in New York City. Man, like those videos that people were posting, just random guys, man. It's like, fuck, let a guy live their life.
Just citizens, a guy doing his job. Like there was a garbage man. He's like, you are a disgusting fuck. Like man.
Yeah, like Jesus, man. But the best one is he starts recording himself as he's smoking a cigarette because he thinks the guy coming up to him is gonna ask him for one, and the guy asks him, and he's like, "Fuck, I knew you were gonna ask me for a fucking cigarette, you fucking asshole." It's like Jesus, man.
Like but, there was that one video of the guy with the bleached hair, and he's like, oh, "Get a haircut."
Who the fuck dyed your hair? And then he says the white walking symbol means that goes on just before the light, you stupid fuck. It's like, holy man. But have you ever watched the video where Biz Nasty goes to his apartment and like
and he has like
that video
sword.
Is fucking hilarious, dude.
Or an axe. What does he have under his bed?
An axe. He has an axe, I believe, just in case someone ever breaks in. Like, wow. But man, it's hilarious that fucking like he's so funny, but Jesus Christ, he's stupid. Guy says Clayton Keller fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Fucking Clayton Keller had more points last year than he's ever had.
Have you seen yourself play?
Yeah, like he's recording Clayton Keller standing at the dot on a power play. Sean, he's fucking waiting for the one-timer, man. The fuck you mean?
He has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, because Sean Avery never played a power play. All he was good for is giving other teams power plays. That was his specialty. Yeah. But
waving his stick in front of Brodeur.
Yeah, I forgot about that actually.
When he's just standing, facing him, he's just waving it.
Like, Jesus Christ!
What an idiot! Like hockey, Sean Avery, horrible. Like horrible.
Real life Sean Avery is still horrible, but he's funny.
Real life Sean Avery, is horrible, but like, what is wrong with him?
There's a lot of things.
He's ruthless. He's just going off.
He is. I am shocked that... I mean, I'm curious to see if any other teams give him a shot, but as of right now, things are not looking good for 42-year-old Sean Avery trying to come back into professional hockey, which I find ridiculous.
He should play for the Rangers again. God.
Imagine Ryan Reeves. All right, next up on the agenda... We're actually flying through these. We're not even at the halfway point yet. The UHL has obviously been suspended amidst
UHL, obviously
the terrible shit that's terrible shit that's going on in Ukraine right now. And I'm very curious to see how this disaster affects like other leagues across the world. If any other leagues will be affected, because like. I mean, the KHL will probably be suspended at some point.
Yeah, I would hope. I mean, yeah, I think it should. I think it's almost over though, isn't it? Like, isn't it playoffs?
Oh yeah, you know what? Probably. They might just. But like, also
if World War III fucking.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't want to talk about it on here because I want to stay away from politics as best we can. But
yeah, God Almighty. And like,
we might have another NHL season suspended. McDavid's never ever gonna have a full fucking career. Guy's lost 2 full seasons. Matthews too.
Yeah, it's.
But
it's. I know soccer teams aren't playing like the Russian teams anymore, and like there's Russian sponsors that they took off. And LCBOs in Canada or
got rid of Russian products.
Yeah,
it's crazy how boycotting is you know people always, and here's the thing, like on that post about LCBO banning their Russian products. People commenting, "Wow, boys, the war has been won." Well, like I get it doesn't seem like a lot, but honestly, stuff like that does affect like Putin and that government in more ways than people realize. But yeah, I don't know. But now to segue off of this, Dominic Hasek, what a stupid fucking statement he just made the other day. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. He said the NHL should terminate the contracts of their Russian players because of what's happening. But
keep talking.
Yeah. My question is like, why would we terminate the contracts of players that don't have like a legit effect on what's going on? Like, you're going to terminate the contract of Alex Ovechkin, and Alex Ovechkin is the only Russian to have actually commented on what's happening. So, like, I don't know, maybe he's an exception, but, like, I don't understand why we're going to try and, like, blame regular Russian hockey players for something that doesn't necessarily involve them. I was just talking about how Ovechkin, like, made a statement the other day, and he's really the only Russian player in the league who's actually, like, spoke up about it. But, like, either way, I don't understand why we're going to terminate their contracts.
That's so stupid. Like Dominic Hasek, what drugs are you smoking? But
yeah, like the NHL's never going to ban Ovechkin's contract. He's one of the most popular players in the league and shit.
Fault. Like it's not his fault. He's Russian. It's not his fault.
It's not his fault that the media is asking him fucking questions about it. Like, you shouldn't ask these guys questions.
Like, I think like him and Putin have like met, and I think they're not friends, but like they're like they know each other. So it's like you can't say. I
actually think they might be friends. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
I actually think they might be.
But yeah, so he's like,
man, like it's not Ovechkin's fault. Yeah, like sure, he may be friends with Putin, but he's not the one telling Putin to fucking bomb Ukraine. The guy's just playing hockey in a completely different country. Like, man, it's not that serious.
And Ovechkin has like his family still in Russia.
Yeah.
So if he says something against him, they're gonna get killed.
Yeah, like, man, he can't. He's gotta tread on thin water essentially. But man, like, you're gonna terminate the contract of Vasilevsky, who hasn't said a word about it. He's just like, I don't understand where they come from on this. Yeah, like any Russian player. Like, it's so stupid.
Washington Capitals, Orlov, Kuznetsov.
Yeah, pretty much. They have so many Russians on that fucking team.
Samsonov.
Yeah.
God almighty. Shesterkin. Well, let's take him out.
Yeah, exactly. He's Russian too. And like, the Oilers actually don't really have that many Russian players at all. Now that I think about it.
At least just have like Mikheyev.
Do the Oilers even have a Russian? Holy fuck, I don't think we do. Actually, I don't think we have one Russian on our team. I'm trying to scale through the lineup in my head. I mean, we have Russian draft picks, but we don't have any actual guys on roster that are Russian, which is actually weird now that I think about it.
Oh, yeah, we could talk... Rodon Amirov. Like,
yes.
We could talk about...
Yeah.
He's Russian. Let's just take him out. No, I'm just kidding. But
yeah,
that's terrible.
It is.
He's only like 20, isn't he?
He's very young, yeah.
But, yeah,
I mean, they said he's been still like working out and skating like three to four times a week, which is good, obviously. But
I don't know.
You don't know how things like that.
Like, I don't know. Like, is it like cancerous and shit, or is it just like a bump?
Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure.
I don't know. How I
didn't see.
I don't know.
I mean, it can be both. I'm just not sure
like
if it's a cancerous one. Because my dad was saying something about how chemo will affect him, so I think maybe it's cancerous. But the benefit is that when you're an athlete like this and you're going to the doctor or whatever, like, so often, they catch these things so quick. Like, how many, like, literally every NHL player that I know of that had cancer has beat it. Lemieux, Lindblom, Shea Theodore had cancer.
Brian Boyle.
Yeah, they've all beaten it because they catch it so early into its phase, and then they do the chemotherapy, and it kills it super quickly.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully he'll be okay, but it's a completely different situation because it's on his brain, right? So removal will be way more challenging than fucking removing, you know, cancer in your leg or your arm or wherever it may be. But
that's so scary.
Yeah, it really is. Like, it's so and the other bad thing, like, and I know this is gonna sound really bad, but the Leafs don't even have a good prospect, like a great prospect pool to begin with. Amirov was definitely the highlight of it, and now there's a chance he might never play in the NHL ever. Not that the Leafs are the Leafs aren't at risk of sucking anytime soon because they're not like Pittsburgh or Washington who have no prospects and they're at the end of their reign of terror.
We keep saying that, but they're
yeah, I know, but it's got to happen eventually. So, but the Leafs have a lot of time left as long as these guys stick around like Marner and Matthews and stuff. But it's so shitty. There's a lot of tragedy in hockey.
The Leafs made a video of like, oh, like we're with you. Like, I don't know, it was just kind of awkward. Like Tavares was the only one saying something, and like they were all just standing behind him. I don't know if you.
Yeah, well, it's of course it was awkward. Tavares is the most awkward fucking person on earth, man.
Yeah.
like seriously, it's really like a buddy of mine that I worked with. He passed away from cancer, and he was a diehard Leafs fan, and I think he knew somebody that knew Tavares. So it wasn't by chance, but Tavares actually made him a video and sent it to his family and him, which was nice. I saw the video, and it was that was like kind of like it's just the way Tavares talks. He talks so like slowly, and like such a low tone of voice. But like, yeah, he's a very awkward dude, John Tavares. But I said it since the day they named him captain. Morgan Riley should have been the captain, 100%. He was there. He's been through hell and fucking back with the Leafs. Why would you not make him the captain? He's been there for everything that they've been through in the last like 10 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded Riley being the captain, but you got to give it to Tavares just because I don't know. He's his skill, but recently he's been shit.
That's what I mean.
Tavares.
Obviously I like.
So was Riley. Tavares. Riley, my
he hasn't been great either.
Been too fond of Riley either.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But what I say is like I get Tavares obviously it was like a crazy signing, but Tavares was named captain after 1 year with the Leafs.
Yeah.
Morgan Riley has been there for how long? Like I don't know. I just felt I know in terms of a skill gap it's different. Yeah, but like Morgan Riley's like he's loved by the fans, and I just figured it seems weird when you give the captaincy to a guy that just got there. But I don't know. Like, who really gives a fuck, man? Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, a captain, I don't think a captain has that big of an effect on a team, man. At all. Like, I don't think if you took the captaincy away from McDavid and gave it to fucking Darnell Nurse, it would make a difference. I actually don't think McDavid is the best choice for captain on our team. I actually would give it to a guy like Draisaitl or someone who's more outspoken about things. But, like... McDavid's he leads when he needs to lead. Yeah, sure. Tyson Barrie, what a joke. Tyson Barrie can be the captain of the fucking box squad when he starts getting scratched for how shitty he is. But so prayers with Amirov, and hopefully he recovers and is able to actually play. But I think priority right now would be ensuring he can live his life at a normal level.
Yeah, who cares about
before hockey? Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, speaking of the Leafs, one sec. So
yeah.
And speaking of like how shitty like Tyson Barrie is, like Justin Hall hasn't been playing the past couple of games, and like
didn't he play yesterday though?
He played yesterday, so I was like, oh shit, it was 7-5. I'm like, oh, you know why it's 7-5 all of a sudden? Because Justin Hall's in the game.
Yeah.
But they he made a nice play. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't.
He was behind the net. He was behind the net, and he like no look backhanded it in front. I think I don't know who it was. It might have been to Bunting, but it was actually.
Did he? Play. What was his plus minus after the game?
Justin Hall, I have no idea, no clue.
Let's look at that. Jesus, I'm scared.
Leafs, Red Wings, stats. Game stats. This is awkward silence, but hold on.
Yeah.
So
he's figuring it out.
Oh, that's 7-4. Hold on. NHL scores. It's probably not even that big of a fucking deal. It's probably like -1.
that's true though, because even though you guys allowed a lot of goals, he was probably on the ice for a lot of goals too.
I don't know where to check.
Probably the score. I'll look at the score. Give me a sec.
Just do it right now, because I'm looking at. It doesn't say the. How many points did Justin Hall get yesterday? Let's see.
Did he even get a point?
3 assists.
3 assists. Wow, what a guy. Okay, so Hall was a +3, Chorno.
Damn.
So he was literally on the ice for those two of the assists, because one of them was one shorthanded or a power play or something. That wouldn't count, but
yeah.
So that means he was on the ice for one other goal that he didn't contribute to. But I was honestly expecting something very, very different with his plus minus. But
yeah,
all right. The last thing,
bunting up
didn't
5.
Matthews have 4 points or something like that? Crazy, just crazy.
Tavares nothing. He sucks, man.
Yeah, that's actually really fucking interesting. The fact that the guy didn't get 1 assist or point or something on a 10-goal fucking
game.
Yeah, like,
and he's
that's
like
crazy.
One of the best, and he's making 11 mil. Get it together.
Yeah, that's
All right, last.
The last thing we have
here.
on the list here, we're at the 36-minute mark, so we're kind of on time. Trade rumors and things like that. So yeah, it's getting pretty interesting with the trade deadline being less than a month away now, and you're starting to hear a lot of the rumors pipe up a little bit. Now, obviously, it's not a situation where it's like all the trades are gonna happen on the deadline day. So obviously there's a good chance that some of these trades will happen maybe next week. You know, who knows? But yeah, so a new face that just got added, or apparently got added to a trade block, was Philip Forsberg, which I am really surprised by. I don't know about you. I was not expecting.
Yeah, he's so good. Like, why would you?
And it's not even, and Nashville's not even doing bad. Like, we just talked about them. They're in a playoff spot right now. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Part of me thinks this might be a bit of like a fake rumor to try and maybe spark some trade talk to like maybe Nashville wants to maybe hear offers and see what teams are willing to give. But like I'm really surprised that they would put him on as like a guy that would actually get traded. He's great. I think any team would love to have him. Forsberg's the type of guy that could fit on any team, even if you're looking, like, even the Oilers. We may be looking for a goaltender at the deadline, but depending on what Nashville want, I mean that asking price has got to be like astronomically high, right? Like, let's be real here. That they're probably asking for it's got to be on the level of like what Chychrun is trying. Like, people are trying to get Chychrun for, but. I don't think he's going to leave Nashville at the end of it, but I mean, it's interesting enough that he's on the trade block regardless. And then JT Miller was a guy who's been rumored recently a lot, but do you think the Leafs are actually going to get JT Miller? Because I don't necessarily think you guys need JT Miller.
My dad asked this. He said, would you trade Nylander for Miller?
That's a tough one.
Because isn't Miller like up there in points?
He is. But here's my thing though. I don't think JT Miller. I don't like JT Miller very much. I think he's a bit of an asshole. I'm dead serious. Like, I don't know if you remember when Vancouver was struggling earlier this year. Like, he literally said there's a lot of guys in that room who just don't care right now. And he was calling out Bo Horvat for being a shitty captain. Like, he's a fucking dick. He just throws guys under the bus. Like, I don't, like, especially in a group as tightly knit as Toronto, if you trade Nylander for a guy that, while he is better than Nylander, I do think he's better on his own. Like, I don't necessarily think it's good for your locker room if you trade Nylander for a guy that might come in there and start saying that Marner fucking sucks in the playoffs. Like, he's going to be, if you guys lose a round, he's going to be like, yeah, well, Mitch Marner fucking sucks. He can't get a point. Like, fuck. Like, you can't have guys like that on your team regardless of how good they are. But, But, I mean, if that does happen, I don't think it'll be a terrible thing for the Leafs. I just don't think it's a great idea.
I don't know.
What are your thoughts?
Younger. I don't know.
Yeah. And he's having a great season.
He's been off and on this year, Nylander.
True. He started off really strong.
Yeah, but
I mean, he was your best player in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, he was 100%. He got 7 goals in 7 games. But I think the Leafs need to focus on their D because they got Muzzin out.
I agree.
I don't think they need Miller. I think they need a
John Klingberg would be my if I was Dubas, I'd be going for Klingberg. But here's why I don't say Lindholm. While Muzzin is obviously not particularly good as well, you obviously would. I think Muzzin would play. I mean, Muzzin's going to be out for probably the rest of the season. Playoffs. Yeah, so with that in mind, that might mean that Lindholm could come to Toronto as well, because then you could have Lindholm cover Muzzin's spot for the rest of the season, and then Muzzin can come back in the playoffs, and you can have both of them without any cap issues. But what the problem is, your biggest hole on defense is Hall, right? And he's a right-handed defenseman, so John Klingberg is like a gift if the Leafs can actually acquire him. But the problem is that, like we said earlier, the Leafs don't really have a great prospect pool. So, I mean, do you guys even have your first-round pick this year?
Yeah, they do.
So then I guess you could trade that if I mean, that would definitely have to be traded.
How many times are you going to trade?
That's what I mean. This is why you guys don't have a good prospect pool, is because every fucking guy you trade, or every pick you trade, you don't get a first-round pick. But I guess maybe Nick Robertson is a guy Dallas would consider, because they can have the brothers play together, maybe.
Oh, true, yeah. I mean, just think of the D, like, it's Riley, Klingberg, or would Riley and Brody stay together?
Yeah, you'd keep Brody and Riley together because then you'd have Muzzin, or you'd have Klingberg cover for Hall on the second pairing. It gives you a little more, like, defensive depth.
Yeah, like Klingberg and Sandin, and then, like, Muzzin. At least it's playoff roster. So you got Riley, Brody, Sandin, Klingberg, because they're both Swedish.
Okay.
And then you got Labushkin and Muzzin, or whatever. Like, that's better than what it is.
Yeah, how's Labushkin been, actually? I haven't heard anything.
He's actually been pretty, like, I don't know, like, I think he's a solid, just stay-at-home D-man.
Yeah,
he made one mistake against Columbus, which turned out to be, like, to make Columbus go up 3-2, and then we scored with, like, a minute left, but then they won in overtime. But
that's gonna happen to everybody.
Was his fault. Yeah, but I don't know. He's been solid, I think. Haven't really been watching. I mean,
for what you got him for, I mean, obviously, you can't complain too much.
Yeah.
But
Nick Ritchie.
But yeah, I mean, I am very interested to see what the Leafs do at the deadline, because this could honestly make or break your playoff run, with whatever moves you guys choose to make. But we'll see. I mean, obviously, as with every other NHL season that's ever been a thing, every single fucking free agent is rumored to go to Toronto. This happens every year, and they get, like, maybe one of the lower tier picks, but
like Nick Foligno.
Yeah, like, Jesus Christ. I mean, that was a terrible trade, though. Like, what are your thoughts on Dubas as a GM? Like, I like, my manager at work hates, like, he's a Bruins fan. He thinks Dubas sucks as a GM.
I think he's not terrible.
I don't think he's terrible either.
He started off a little shaky with, like, the sign, like Matthews, Marner, Tavares, and everyone was like, oh, overpaid.
But here's my thing about that.
I think it's worth it.
Oh yeah, obviously it's worth it. No one's gonna. Well, you'll definitely get people saying it's not worth it. But I always found it funny, because to me, when you play on NHL 22 with no salary cap on, and you just toss the amount of money the player requests, and then maybe a little more just to like make sure they sign with you.
Guaranteed.
That's what exactly what Dubas did. He's like, oh, you want 11 million? Okay, here, have 11.5, and he just fucking tosses whatever you can ask for out of him. But, yeah, I mean, I don't think he's a bad GM by any means.
He's young too, so like.
Yeah, he's young. I just think that there's a few things that he just tries to really appeal to the people he's dealing with. Like that Nick Foligno trade, the fact that they got a first rounder for Nick Foligno and only a second for Taylor Hall. How's that even possible?
Yeah.
Like that, it's just that type of stuff. It's like you could probably have given up less, but he's a good GM. He's definitely better than a lot of the other GMs in the league. So, yeah, but I mean,
the Labushkin trade was pretty good. Like it opened up some space, and then obviously
for sure, yeah. And not even the deadline. I'm very curious to see what the Leafs do at the off season, because obviously there's some guys that are going to be leaving Toronto. Mrazek probably, I would say Hall and/or Muzzin. Probably as well. Hall for sure, I would think. I don't know if they keep Hall around.
Yeah. God almighty.
But I'm just trying to think, are there any other big names that
I don't know, it's the same thing like Giroux, like.
Yeah, like I'm just trying to think of guys that are more of like a recent. Ricard Raquel, the Leafs also looking at him among other teams. He's pretty good, but again, I don't think you guys need to improve. Your forward group is definitely not the issue. So it's honestly a waste of whatever you're trading to acquire these, unless you can acquire them for absolutely nothing, but that's not going to be the case. Like, you're not going to get a fucking Arizona trade with Anaheim. You're not going to trade them Justin Hall and a fucking second-round pick for Ricard Raquel. You know what I mean? It's going to take a lot more than that. But hopefully some of these trades start to happen soon.
Yeah, like Sherrod, all those guys. Like I want to like talk about it once it actually happens instead of saying all these rumors.
Well, these like episodes right now, it's like you're on the brink of something that's gonna happen soon, but it's like you're just waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's like nothing's happening. Like I'm hoping by next week's episode we'll have something we'll have a lot more things to talk about from like a perspective of just more to ramble on, but we're at like almost the 50-minute mark. This is honestly a good time for like a podcast though. Like with the amount of content we had to talk about. Yeah, if they don't want to listen to us for an hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so next week, maybe not next week, but the week after will probably be our three-quarter like award predictions, because it's almost at the 60 game mark. So we'll do that either next episode or the episode after that, and then kind of in the final home stretch of the season by that point.
The playoffs, that's so exciting, man.
I'm so hyped, man. Hyped.
So there's like 2 months left. It's already March. And then when does the last game, like April 30th?
Yeah, I believe so. It's very late this year. Very late.
That's weird.
Oh, there's one thing I wanted to bring up though. About NHL 22. So last night me and Joe were playing clubs together, like just me and him. So we had the winger AI, and so our first game we won like 11-3. Like we crushed these guys. Like they were so bad. And then the next game we won, I think 2-1 or 3-2 in regulation. Like it was a pretty hard fought game, but we ended up winning. And then our third game, and at the time it was our final game, we're losing 2-1 with like 9 minutes left in the third period. I score to tie the game because and these guys aren't like that good. We're just really having a bit, like they just play good defense, but we tie it up, and then and then on the last play we clear the puck out of our zone, and me, Joe, and one of the guys on their team are racing for the puck, and Joe gets hit without it, and they take a penalty with one, like, and because like obviously when the clock is running at the 1 second mark they call the penalty regardless, so we get the penalty, And I'm like, Joe, you have to score. And so he goes in, and I'm going to just tell you what he does before I tell you why he did it. He goes in, and like, you know the glitch goal thing on the penalties. You go around, cut in front. He didn't do that this time. I'm like, what is he doing? He skates right up the middle, slightly to the left, and Datsuk flips it. The goalie saves it. And I'm like, Joe, what the fuck? Why didn't you score? He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, what do you mean, what am I talking about? Why the fuck didn't you score? It was a penalty shot. It was a free win. He's like, Moen, we won. I'm like, no, we didn't, man. It's 2-2. He's like, it's 3-2. I'm like, Joe, you're the stupidest fucking guy I have ever met in my life. It was 2-2. He thought we were winning, so he fucked up. He just fucked around on the penalty shot, and we went to overtime, and we fucking won. He scores the winning goal after I give him a perfect one-timer pass. He says, yeah, it was just a cock tease, Moen. Don't even stress. I was just teasing them. Yeah, for sure, Joe. Like, fuck. I was like, what are you doing? Why wouldn't you just score?
Like,
and then the other thing, too, we're arguing about it, and he says to me, I never score the wraparounds. He literally scored a wraparound the game before that one. On the penalty shot. I'm like, Joe, what do you mean you don't score the wraparounds? You just did. Just do the same thing again. I was so pissed, man. I was like, you cannot be serious right now. I don't think we lost a game yesterday on clubs, honestly. We started a new club, so the fucking guys we're playing suck right now. It's bad. But I just thought I'd tell you guys, and this is the Joe Maleka we had on the episode in the podcast a couple weeks ago. Like, fuck, man. He is stupid. Let me tell you that. But anyways, we're at the 51-minute mark, so I think we'll close this one up. So thank you guys for tuning in and for listening to episode 11. We're still hitting that consistency right now, which is great. I have a very hectic work week though. I got 5 days of work this week, so it's gonna be tough to find the time to record an episode. I have Sunday off though, so if we have to do it Sunday again, then we can. But so thank you guys for tuning in, and we will, follow us on TikTok and Instagram.
Everything, follow us on everything.
Yep. We haven't been posting on TikTok that much, but there isn't really anything that's been post-worthy recently.
I'm not really
once the trades,
about the war.
Yeah, like once the trades start happening, we can post videos about those once they start happening, but we have to wait. But yeah, so thank you guys, and we will see you all next week. Peace out.